Okay, so we know GroupMe. We don't really know Telegram or Signal that well. But I think we should talk a little bit more about what the heck it is, because it's in the news. So, hey there over there. Welcome to Youth Bombs. I am Coleman.
I'm David.
I'm Lucas.
So, Signal group chat leaks from the White House. Oh boy, what the heck is going on here? So, basically, what I've heard is there's a group chat. We have, what characters do we have? JD Vance. We have, I think, Susan Willis, like the main.
Well, the main two talking were Pete Hegseth and JD Vance.
Oh, okay.
They were kind of going back and forth a lot about Europe,
Okay.
and the Youthies, and
Oh yeah, the Houthis were a big topic. So as far as I'm aware, the Houthis are not great people, to say the least. Pretty sure they don't like Jews, and they're kind of, and apparently they've been causing trouble, interfering with trade and the like. So we're bombing them, I guess. And then what else is there? Now, I guess with Signal, I guess the thesis is it's supposed to be secure, right? And then how does this get leaked? Do we know?
Well, apparently, an American a journalist
Okay.
was added to the chat by accident. It wasn't by Pete Hegseth. It was someone else in the chat.
Oh,
Journalist.
journalist.
You have something you want to add, Lucas?
it was just like I think just one of the main guys in the group chat. It's just like a misclick, and he added some massive journalist, and he just leaked it immediately, pretty much. Took screenshots and
yes.
everything. Yeah.
But it's like, I feel like it's being blown out of proportion. Like, you're seeing it, they keep on talking about it. It's like, I just saw like a couple new articles released just a couple hours ago, and this is like 4 days ago.
Yeah.
So they're blowing it way out of proportion. It was an American journalist. It wasn't like it was the CCP or
Yeah.
again.
Well, I guess like by
Dramatic.
extension, like sure you can, yeah, you remove the journalist, but then of course now that like the group chat is leaked to the public, of course the CCP can see it now. But of course it would be especially bad if like someone's let in and then undercover they're a CCP agent and then they don't give away themselves immediately and then they're a mole, right? How do we prevent that? Do you think?
Well, I mean, we've had a lot of people use email in the past. I think that's a little bit more secure. I think something like an app.
Email? App? Okay.
Secured email, better, like maybe a government
Yeah,
on chat room. I don't even know. I mean, because Signal's just like an app you can get. And the fact, it's like doing it over SMS. It's like, why would you even run that risk,
Oh yeah, I've heard
Right.
I've heard Proton Mail. Have you guys heard Proton Mail?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Oh, okay. Because I've heard of like James O'Keefe, for instance, when he's like trying to recruit people to like whistleblow. He says, "Hey, reach out to me via Proton Mail to protect yourself." And I think now, what else is Signal? I think Signal is it supposed to be encrypted, right? Yeah, it is encrypted. So I guess if you don't know what that means, dear audience, I think it just makes it more difficult for outside people to view within the messages. And then something else that's quite similar, it's called Telegram. Now, I've used Signal and Telegram before. Telegram was especially big, especially during, the initial Twitter censorship that was happening. And then, alternate networks were forming in the midst of COVID. No one else was really going on. And then Telegram got really big. And then recently the college Republicans, they had a Signal thing for a while. No one really liked it. So then now we're using GroupMe. But GroupMe kind of sucks. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, no, it's not that good. I think Slack's pretty good.
Yeah.
All group chats do, I think, just fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think especially if you're gonna like talk in base the government and the information that the government has, which is very valuable, like because it concerns its citizens, it has to be encrypted because we're not living in the old world anymore. We're living in a new world where knowledge really is power. We have like people who are learning more about hacking and people are really like investing everything they can in order to gain knowledge by accessing digital documents you're not supposed to. So definitely using like Proton Mail or what else do you recommend, Coleman?
I don't think I'm not a government official. I don't know, but I would say I would keep on using Signal, but perhaps just be more careful of who you let in going forward.
Maybe just one person can add people. And it's just someone you can really trust.
Just an admin.
Right.
Because it was just like...
you need an admin.
There has to be accountability.
Yeah. Because JD Vance was clearly like the head of this group chat because he's the highest in order.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yes.
think it wasn't him who added that extra journalist. So, I mean, most of the responsibility falls on him regardless. So maybe like an admin system set up could like resolve that, or I don't know.
And the left, they're really playing this up. I believe it was like Hakeem Jeffries, right? That's his name. He was talking about he was just really like overplaying this and talking about how this could have gotten like a lot of people killed and how this was like a mishap from the government, which it was. But the left didn't really have much to talk about because Biden literally left a bunch of our jets and a bunch of our weapons, which Afghanistan didn't have. He left them to the terrorists in Afghanistan. They didn't even have night gear or night vision goggles by then, which is what gave us such an advantage. Now they have night vision, and now they were able to take over the whole regime. So it's just, if we're going to talk about government incompetence, I don't think that the left have much to speak about. I think it's getting blown way out of proportion.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is dangerous that like a journalist could just get added to a group chat and just leak all this stuff. I think that's slightly irresponsible on his part. I mean, luckily there wasn't much in there except JD Vance is like, I hate bailing out Europe and we bombed the Houthis, and that's really all that was in there. But
yeah,
if it was like worse in there, like that's kind of on the journalist for leaking it in a sense. I mean, but it is being blown out of proportion because we've had people in the past, a lot of like Hillary Clinton and her emails where she's just sending them out to a bunch of random people, and then out of nowhere she deletes them, and no one talks about it ever again.
Yeah, they did a poll, and only like 37% of people believe that the media is not talking about this issue enough. So that's like about like a little over a third of the country.
Like
the Pete Hegseth leak of the group chat.
Oh,
yeah.
Like most Americans really don't. They don't really see it as that much of a threat. Like they believe it was like irresponsible, but it's not like the end of the world or anything.
Right. So I think like maybe so we don't think there will be any large effects, though. I think perhaps the major takeaway is, do we move away then from using commercial products in comms, in government communications? Is that a good idea? Should we try to move away from commercial products? Should the government try to develop something internally? What could be a solution here?
I think that whenever the government does something, it's just not good. I really do.
Fair point, right?
Well, I'm going to say in precedent, like they do hire people to do things for them. Like they hired, I remember there's this big thing between Bill Gates and Bezos where it was like they were competing for, I think it was like the Jedi security. So they outsource.
Right.
So
like
they could do the same thing. They can make a chat room. It's pretty easy. They spend billions of dollars doing other things. Why not make a secure room? Especially since the government pretty much created the internet too, I'm pretty sure.
Right. I mean, defense.
They could do that.
Right. Defense contracting is like a huge industry. So instead of making weapons, why not make group chats? That's probably a good way to go about it then, because like you get the best of both worlds. Perhaps it's like you enlist the private sector and the efficiencies of the private sector to create a product for the public sector. Does it make sense? Okay. Cool. What else is there to say on this matter?
I think they're just trying to write us off, like to help them like win elections and make this the next big thing. And I do think that, like, did you guys see that election? Did you guys see the election happen in Pennsylvania?
What about it? Yeah.
Where like there wasn't enough like Republican voter turnout for that one, and we ended up losing.
Oh, was this like recently?
It was recent. It was just a couple days ago. Scott Presler was tweeting about it. Do you know about it,
Was it
Lucas?
just state legislature type stuff, or what was it? What was the election for?
I can look up exactly what it was.
Was it a referendum or like just like a state legislator election for someone running?
Hold up.
While he looks it up, I do know there was like a big push in Wisconsin, and like if Scott Presler was heavily involved there, I think there's like a Supreme Court election in Wisconsin going on.
Yeah. We got that.
We got what?
We got that in the bag. Like we
got it in the bag. Let's go.
I'm pretty sure we won it.
And also Florida coming up has two House rep special elections coming up. So if you're a Florida voter, get on it, doggone it. So what else is there to say? We also have
about the Pennsylvania election. It was control of state house.
Control of state house.
Yeah.
Okay.
We only lost, but we didn't lose by that much. But we weren't able to get proper voter turnout. So I don't. How do you guys think we can get more voter turnout?
Ooh. Okay.
This was a local election, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I just think the culture right now it's tough because everyone's so focused on Senate, House, and midterm elections and
like all eyes are on Trump, basically.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough to do that when you got everyone focusing on that. So I think trying to get the word out, it's tough to do that. Today. But I mean, what solution do you guys think would?
Door-to-door knocking is the best alternative. Like statistically, 1 out of 16 like doors that you knock, they're going. People are going to show up to vote, and so it's definitely the most effective.
It's like I know you also door knocked for pro-life causes.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
How has that been for you?
Oh, we won Amendment 4. It was good. Yeah, I door knocked against Amendment 4, vote no on 4, and we won.
But how was the experience door knocking? Were the people nice? Did they?
For the most part, they were nice, but like obviously you're gonna run into people that aren't nice and just like try to get out of there. You get into a lot of arguments too, so it's good. So you have to come in prepared. And luckily, like against Amendment 4, I was able to get like pro-choice people to even like vote against Amendment 4 because Amendment 4
it's just too crazy.
Yeah, it could have allowed abortion up to birth, which is just crazy.
Yeah.
And an update, by the way, on the Wisconsin Supreme Court election. I think I misread that for like another election, but the election's on April 1st. So we haven't seen the outcome yet.
So that's a funny day to hold an election, April Fool's.
Yeah, April Fool's.
Either way, it's a joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, Lucas, I would say like you have to, basically do what the college Democrats are doing on our campus at UF, is just like enlist the college kids to get involved. Period.
Oh yeah.
Apart from handing out free condoms and free Plan B like every single day.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Did they actually do that?
Dude, it's so like
I
annoying.
haven't gone to their table, so I wouldn't.
Bro, they do it in their like table. They have it on their Snapchat stories. One time I was outside church and I was like, so we do this thing called Adoramus, and where we try to bring people into church. And I was out there evangelizing, and I think they were bothering me like on purpose or something because they kept on trying to give me condoms. When it's like obvious, like that goes against my beliefs. Like, and it's pretty obvious. Like I'm here evangelizing, guys keep on trying to give me condoms. They wouldn't go away for like 30 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe they need church. I don't know.
Yeah, I tried. You know, but yeah.
Anyway,
about the Wisconsin election, the Brad Schemel, where he's up for re-election, that's actually a really important one because Democrats right now they're trying to like do redistricting so that if they win, then they can make it so that the next like House seats are much more likely for them to win, and then we're gonna have to win House seats in like California or New York, which is much harder to do.
Right.
So we do have to make sure that Brad Schemel gets elected on April 1st.
Good stuff. And we got a lot of exciting things coming up, ladies and gentlemen. So that said, if you like this video, please sure to smash the like button, hit the bell, comment below, tell us what you think. And if you have any inquiries, be sure to email us at youthbums@alachroadrepublicans.com. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.